Hello, Ariana here from Scale and Simplify. This video is going to show you how to create a simple survey within Kartra. So right now I'm in the survey section here. There's an example here across the top. You've got your surveys and then analytics and results are available in there as well. So let's jump right in. If we click the blue button to create a survey, we can see that we have three models to choose from. Now, I will be going through the traditional survey as an example, and there are two additional ones as well that have some slightly different features. You can use these, to create lead magnet quizzes. You can create quizzes for your students as well, or assessments. Traditional surveys, this is something that is really good to use to create segmentation and to collect more data than you would have on a opt-in form or something like that, to learn more about your audience. So let's jump in. I'm just going to give it a temporary name. You can select a category or create a category for yourself to keep them organized. Okay, so basic information, this is going to be your title. Here it will default your logo if you have it loaded in Kartra already. Contents, we'll come back to this in a second. I just want to show you the other settings in here. So you can choose whether or not you would like an email sent. Like many other things in Kartra, it then opens up a email editor that you can design your email in. I'm just going to say no to this. If you're doing something like a survey for, again, the example I was giving, collecting data to help segment your leads further, you might not need a confirmation email, but it all depends on what kind of survey you're doing and if your leads would value any sort of follow-up communication from that. Okay, next we've got automations. You can assign a tag. I won't go through this, but just want to show you. I recommend that you create a new tag and have it, linked to that survey specifically. And so it'll say, completed dash and then your survey name, so that you know what they completed, and then adding them to some sort of list, if anything, at least at minimum your all subscribers list, so that they are added somewhere, just in case somebody fills this in who's not already in your system and isn't already subscribed to something. Again, you have the option to do some other automations as well. So if they complete the survey, you can do additional things here, depending on what you're using your survey for. Okay, and then next is just the finish. So I'm just going to go back to contents, and this is where we're going to actually build out the survey. So we're going to hit to launch the builder. Okay, so like with the page builder across the top, you can see the different views, so you can have a look at it on mobile, and you can decide which way the information is going to go as they're scrolling through it, and you're able to select your accent color there. Okay, so going down the left-hand side, you can add in an intro cover. So this is really great if you want to have some sort of instructional video. Again, this all really depends on what kind of survey you're doing, and there's so many different things that you can do. I'm going to say text only, and I'm going to write up something. Okay, so I'm saying tell us more about you, and saying that if they complete the survey, it's going to help us share valuable content that's aligned and helpful for them. So again, I'm creating a survey that is going to collect some additional information. for people. Now, before we add the questions, there's also identification. We can add in that they fill in their email at the end. And then we can also select our success screen. You can redirect them to another page, so you could create a thank you page and send them there, or we can just display a simple confirmation page right in here. And I will just edit this text to say thank you, and I'll delete this. And we can add in some social media here. I won't do this so that I don't have to look for links right now, but you have some additional options on here for things you can add in. Okay, so going back up here to questions, we want to hit the gear here, and I just want to show you a couple of things. You are able to create branched paths, and so this basically means that depending on one answer, subsequent questions that they get depend on what they answered in that first answer. And so you can customize it and tailor it to dig deeper based on certain things that people answer. I'm going to leave it linear. And then you can also choose whether or not to keep a progress bar. I like to keep these on just from a user experience. I know for me, I like to know when the end is near of a survey, so I like to keep that on. Okay, now let's actually add in a few questions. So I'm going to just do the text only, just a message. Actually, I'm going to do single option. Okay, and I'm going to delete this. I'm going to put my question here. Okay, so you're just clicking and typing in. I'm saying what stage of business are you in, and we're going to click on the pencil icon here for the options box. And now we're going to select whether or not it is a mandatory question. I'm going to say yes. This second one is asking us whether or not the question that this is asking has already been created as a custom field, or if you're creating a brand new custom field. So what this means is, like, if you've already asked this, what stage of business are you in a different survey, you can say that it is existing, and you can select which field it is. So that no matter what survey somebody fills in this question, it's all getting funneled in the back end as a data point specifically for that one single custom field. Okay, so I'm going to say new for this one. And here is where we're going to edit our options. You can add in additional ones or delete them. So I'm going to hit edit. Just starting. I'm going to say 1 to 5 years. I can give it some ranges. Okay. And then here, I do recommend that you turn this on. It's saying if, this custom field and everything can be added to their profile. I think typically you're doing things that would be valuable for you to be able to see in somebody's profile. And so normally I put yes. So now we're going to give this custom field a code name. So I'm going to give it that name. And here we're going to put the question. This is the question that's like it's for your reference. It's so that when you're viewing the record for somebody and they have this field, they've completed this question, it won't just be the identifier that it shows you, it'll actually show you the question, whatever you put in here, so that you know what it's about. So I'm just going to repeat the same question that I asked the person filling out the survey. All right, and apply. Okay, so I'm going to hide this. And then over here, I'm going to click to add another question, text only. And I'm going to say long answer for this one. I'm going to delete the descriptor. Okay, so this is another great question. If you're collecting data from leads, just what is your number one challenge right now when it comes to whatever it is that you help people with? Okay, when we click the little edit thing here, we can again select whether or not we want it to be a mandatory question. We can select if it's a new or existing field and whether or not we want to add it to their profile. So I'm going to give it identifier main challenge. So I'm gonna, it's telling me it already exists. Let's see if it does. Okay, apparently it does. So I have already created this in a different survey, so I'm just selecting it so it can stay consistent and still be linked to that same data point. We're gonna apply, and now we're gonna go add questions. So you would just keep doing this and selecting from the different options that there are. If you've ever used any sort of like form builder, like Typeform, the options are quite similar. So I'm gonna do this one as the last example. So this one, unlike the first one we just did, has multiple options where they can select more than one. So here we can do a question like what, something like what are your key goals for the next year? Select all that, apply. I don't know how good that question is, but we're going to go with it for the example. Okay, so if we hit edit, again, I'm going to make it mandatory. I'm going to make a new field because I don't think I have this one. And then here we're going to edit the options. Okay, so I've filled in these. I'm going to add one more and click add. So you can see here it gets added in there. Again, I'm going to say yes to add it to their profile. I'm going to give it an identifier. And this doesn't allow spaces, by the way, so that's why it's squished together. And I'm going to give it the name that I want to see on the back end, so I know what the question was when I see their answers. And apply. So now we can see everything is set up there. All right, so we've selected that we want them to fill out their email at the end. And let's just give it some instructions here. Okay, and then I'll just put what is your email address, and then they can finish survey. All right, so I'm going to save and exit now that we're done. And so now it's taking us to the next stages again, which is the confirmation, the basic automations that we already talked about. Here at the end, I'm going to select the Kartra hosted page. You can edit your URL to make it a cleaner, better one. I'm just going to copy this one to show you how that survey looks on the front end. Okay, start survey. I'm going to just select a few to show you the flow of things, and this one is one of those that we selected that where they can select more than one option. And then so this was the super simple confirmation that I had put in the settings. Again, you can definitely create a thank you page and then direct people there as well. So this survey, you can, embed this in various places throughout Kartra, and you can always share the link as well. One tip is that you can embed it on thank you pages after freebies. So once somebody downloads a freebie, they're giving you their name and email address. But then on the thank you page, you can explain that to tailor communications and content to them specifically. They can fill out the survey and then have that on the thank you page as an option for them to share additional information with you.